I'm Aaron Zelin, Richard Borow Fellow at the Washington Institute for Near East Policy. I really wanted to understand the puzzle of why so many Tunisians became foreign fighters. To do this, I analyzed historical Tunisian jihadi networks, how many people actually went, were prevented from going, died in Iraq and Syria, and have returned home. It also explored the roles Tunisians took in the Islamic State and other jihadi groups, as well as reasons why individuals came home and the security and human rights dilemmas that creates for the Tunisian government. Tunisians have acted as facilitators, recruiters for the Islamic State and its predecessor groups, going all the way back to Zarqawi's days in Iraq. The Tunisian jihadist movement was uniquely connected to key individuals that could help them get to Iraq and Syria. The freedom to openly proselytize and recruit within Tunisia after the Tunisian Revolution through Ansar al-Sharia in Tunisia provided a larger pool of individuals than would have gone otherwise. There are not as many Tunisians that actually made it to Iraq and Syria, a little more than 2,900 versus the common yet incorrect estimate of 6,000. A lot of research and data collection went into this paper. Much of it, though, is based off of Arabic sources, including internal documents from the Islamic State, propaganda materials from IS and other jihadi groups, as well as local media sources from Tunisia, Syria, and Iraq. From this, I translate a lot of this material to create databases looking at who went and died in Iraq and Syria, as well as locations of the origin of these Tunisians and where they specifically died in Syria. With this first map, it shows the origins of Tunisian fighters based off of the internal IS border documents. And when you click through to Google Maps, you can then zoom in specifically and find a bunch of different places more closely if you want, since some of them are bunched up and therefore get really localized. And then this helps get really good amounts of data, especially in the Tunis region, because there are so many suburbs. This map provides us the origin of the individuals that have gone to Iraq and Syria, and therefore you can locate sort of the networks that these people came from and possible connections they might have had to each other within the different areas of the country. The second one shows how Tunisians crossed the border from Turkey to Syria, which illustrates the parastatal nature of IS's apparatus, even if they didn't control territory inside of Turkey. And then finally, the third map shows the location of death of Tunisians that fought and died in Syria, which highlights that most died in Aleppo Governorate. This means that the most died prior to the heavy fighting in ISIS's core territory of al-Raqqa and Deir ez-Zor, which confirms my findings that most Tunisians went to Syria between spring 2013 and the summer of 2014 and began returning home thereafter. There are a lot of lessons that can be learned about the influence of historical networks and how that can help provide access to future foreign fighter mobilizations for a variety of countries. Moreover, it illustrates the short-sightedness of releasing previously imprisoned jihadis in an amnesty following the revolution and then allowing them to organize and recruit without many consequences for 2.5 years. A lesson can be taken from the Tunisian case and then employed in the future if there are other states that have democratic transitions in the Arab world. They can also use this data and maps to further understand the phenomenon by being able to locate zones of jihadi influence and what that could mean for the future. Relatedly, it could also provide key information that helps assist countering violent extremism programs by focusing it at the local level and therefore targeted instead of a more general national level response. Lastly, it showcases areas where the Tunisian government can work with civil society and the advantages it has as a democracy to tackle tough issues like justice, security sector, and prison reform.